Hello guys, welcome to Bitbender Studio. Today we're going to be talking about a pad mixer and how it's important for you to be able to know how to use it to do your preliminary mix for your project even before you decide to do the major or the master mix, which actually goes a long way to adjust your sound and ensure everything is the way it's supposed to be. So let's go. Welcome back. Like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about pad mixer, and you want to know where that is. If you go to your menu, you will see pad mixer right there. This is your pad mixer right there. And another shortcut for the pad mixer is just holding your shift, just holding your menu and pressing the pad 11 on your MPC device, anyone you're using. Menu, let's go back to the main. I'm recording the screen for you because that's basically where we're going to be talking about the most. So that's why I'm doing a screen recording for you. If you hit your menu and you press pad 11, it takes you straight to the pad mixer. Now let's talk about what we have on the pad mixer. Just like I said earlier, it's actually divided into two parts. We have the part on the left of the screen and the part on the right side of the screen. Now the one on the left of the screen is basically trying to tell you which pad you are selected and that is currently selected under which particular program, and then you also have a place where you can choose to insert your effects directly. You can solo, you can mute, and then you can adjust the volume. That is the level of that particular pad that you are working with. There are two types of mixer there. There is pad mixer, there is channel mixer. We'll still go to channel mixer, but for now, let's focus on pad mixer. Pad mixer basically is where you'll be able to edit and modify the level, the pan. Maybe you want to mute or you want to solo a particular pad, specifically pad. What we're talking about is each of your sample that is on each of your pads. You'll be able to modify the parameters here, and that will be either you want to mute it, solo it, you want to increase the level or reduce it, or you want to pan it to the left or to the right of the speaker. This is where you'll be able to do that seamlessly first. Now, let's not forget the fact that if you have more than one sample kind of like layered together, we talked about that in one of our videos where we say you can actually, put 3 or 4, you can put up to like 4 different samples together in your program edit. Let me show you where that is, just to refresh our memory. If you go to program edit, you see that if you go to samples here, we have 4 layers. So you can actually, these 4 layers, you can put samples on each of them, and then you can play all of them at once, just using a particular pad, which right now, let's say, pad A, the pad here is A3. That means on pad 3, I can load 4 different samples, and I can play just once I hit pad 3, all the 4 samples play. If I go to pad mixer, I'll only be able to edit anything I effect there will affect all those samples at the same time, like simultaneously. But if I want them to have different volumes still, like different level, I need to come back to program edit, and here you can actually edit the level of each of those layers. Do you get? So that's basically what we're talking about. So here, this is the level of the layers. Here you can edit each of them. Layer 1, 2, 3, 4 that you have here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can edit the levels here. Maybe I'm putting a snare and a clap together, and I want the clap to be lower than the snare. I can come here and then reduce the volume of the clap, increase the volume of the snare, and that will work perfectly for me. If I now come back to my pad mixer and I reduce the volume of the pad mixer, it is easier for me to realize that, okay, it will go down simultaneously as well, using the same proportion. Now, so that's basically what pad mixer is about. It's just to help us to manage the panning to the left or to the right, the audio, up and down, that is in terms of level, high or low, and then we have to solo or mute. Now to see how that works, let's just try and load them. I'll load one particular, let me go to the browser. I hope this is not hot. Okay, so let me go to drums. Let me check the trap drums. Let me use 6. 6 seems to be one of the least troublesome here and most awesome of the samples that they have. So let's go back to the main. Now we have something already on the pad 1 to 16. So if I go back to the pad mixer now, you see each of the pad mixer, which is on MPC trap kit 6, is now layered across this screen. So this is pad A1, and this is 2, 3, 4. As you can see, as I tap on it, the red, should it be square or rectangle now, is moving. It's showing me on the screen where exactly I'm at. Now, I'm going to also give you a tip here that'll be very useful for you as you proceed. Now, let's try and say, oh, I want to use this, but it's too loud for my production. It's just too loud for me, and I need to take it down a little bit. So all I need to do is, now that I've already clicked on it, turning the jog wheel will reduce the level for me. As you can see, it's taking down the decibels. So continuously pressing on it while I'm turning it, the volume is responsive in that order. So maybe I just need it to be underneath this kick, something like that. Sometimes you might just want to double the kicks, and then you need one to be low, one to be high. Now that works. So if you want it to be loud, you get. Now this is an interesting piece. Let me show you this here right now. As you can see, when I take this up to a very high level and I hit it, it's clipping. Clipping basically means, if you look at that the indicator that is beside that level, you see it's clipping, it's hitting red, and that's why you can see those red lines. They are just there on the screen, showing you the highest, that's the peak actually of that particular volume. So what you need to do is, you need to ensure that anytime you are mixing any part or any one of your part that is clipping, that is hitting the red zone, you will try and go there individually to reduce it. That way you have a cleaner output when you are getting your final production out of your device. Now you can see what I've done right now. If I should reduce this, let me say we'll reduce it now. So we'll reduce it now to minus 15 decibel, and I play it again. So note that that spot, the red that is showing up there, that's clipping spot, the peak is still there. To take it away so that you can, just monitor your new next level, just double tap on those two red lines. Double tap on them, it will disappear. Then if you hit your bar again, you see a new green one has been created now. That is now the current level. That's just how to know, okay, where is my current level? So if I take it up a little bit again and I strike it, you see the green level is now like somewhere around that zone, and it means that's like the highest level where it can get to. Then the more I increase it, the more that thing goes up. But once it gets to the red zone, you can see it's red again. If you just want to clear it, just double tap it. You see it goes off. So the same way you can basically just if you double tap on the bar itself, it will bring this up, and then if you tap, you see the two red comes up. I can double tap on the two red, and then it disappears. And if I reduce this, a new one is showing now, but it's still in the green zone. Even if I leave the level to full level, which is on full level right now, it's still there just on the, the green zone. So that means, yes, I am safe. I can continue to do my work. Bear in mind that anyone you select here, they are individually handled. Unlike the way you go to your main and then you slide down the volume or the level and it affects everything you're doing. This, you are simply dealing with your parts individually. And I need you to think like a producer here who also happens to understand what the concept of music is about. So let's take, for instance, you go to an event and you see the drum set, the way it is arranged. You notice that majority of the hi-hats and all that, they are positioned to one side. Then you have your snare and the kick. The snare are positioned together kind of like in the middle. The kick is like kind of the one in the main, like the central. But to the left and to the right, you have some kind of hats, and then you have maybe your closed hat and the open hat most of the time to one side of that particular drum set. And it's the same way you want to ensure somehow that the audience is listening to the music. Most time you notice if you listen to professional mix, and you realize that majority of the panning happens a lot on the snare or especially on the hat. Now you are going to hear it more on one side than the other, and then sometimes they just do this trick where they pan it to the left and back to the right. Some kind of snare, some kicks, they just pan it. Most of the time kicks are actually like centralized, but your snare, they play around with it, pan it to the left, pan it to the right. And the same thing with your hats and other things like the claps, pan it to the left, pan it to the right. This can happen here. You can manipulate all those things here. So if you check what we have here, we have the level. This is your pan. You have your mute, send, insert, and the route. Now, we've talked about the level. Basically, you understand what that means. I don't need it to be very hot. I need some of them to be low, lower than the other. I need the others to be louder. That's where you set it. And then it's actually per track. So as you're selecting, you notice that the pad number is changing on the left side of your screen, and that is basically what you're dealing with. That's the pad you're currently working on. Then if you go to pan is where you can now decide to say, let it go to the left or let it go to the right. I want it to be more pronounced on the left, and I want it than it is on the right. I want it to be more pronounced on the right than it is on the left. And then while you're recording, if you do that, you can actually, you remember we talked about if you can collect this particular icon that is on the top right corner of the screen. When it's on W, it's writing. So when it's on W, it's writing, and when it's on green, it's basically just reading. So if you enable this write mode, and then you tweak that particular jog wheel when you're recording, it's kind of like an automation to record that automation for you. But if you're not recording, basically you just want to set it, leave it on R, and then, okay, a good example, this same kick that we're working with right now, that is A5 from the Trap Kit 6. If I need it to be more pronounced on the left, all I need to do is, now we're inside pan, right? I just turn my wheel. Now what I've done now is, I've taken it to 50 left. That means fully it's only going to be on the left side. It's not going to be audible on the right. I'm sure you can hear that. If you're using your headphone, you understand what I'm saying. You'll be able to hear what I'm doing right now, because I'm actually recording this on stereo, so you should be able to hear both left and right. Now I've taken 50 on the right, only coming out from the right. Now if I take it back to the middle on both ears, then I can choose to say, okay, give me 30 here. That means 20 is on the right. So it's more pronounced on the right more pronounced on the left than on the right. If I say give me 40 here, 40 to the left, then that means the remaining 10 is to the right. So that's basically how it works. And you can choose anyone you wish to work on, and you set your panning to the left or to the right. That's what you have. Then we talked about mute. If you need to mute any of this particular pad, in your project you're working with, you want some particular part to be silenced, you can come here and basically just, you click on it, it's muted. You click on it, it's muted. You click again, it's unmuted. So that's basically what the mute does. It helps to just basically silence that particular pad, not the entire project, not the entire program, just the pad. It silences the sample that is there. Then if you do solo, what solo does is it silences everything else, as you can see. It mutes every other thing, and that's the only one you're going to be hearing. That's what solo does. So you just basically want to do your mix in a proper way, at least the preliminary stage of your mix, that will ensure, okay, you know what, am I sure I'm hearing my snare very well? You can solo it to hear it. Okay, yeah, it's properly panned. Am I sure I'm hearing my hats properly? Am I sure I'm hearing my claps, my kicks and all that? You can basically just solo while you edit them, then take them back to the old group, and you'll be able to hear everything out, in a very crispy manner. And this is basically what the pad mixer helps you to do. It helps you to individually adjust your volume, set your panning, and mute or solo your pads. That way, by the time everything is properly done here, you already have a song or a project that is good to go, even before you now decide to export or extract it and take it out for proper mixing and mastering. You've already gotten something good, because trust me, if it's messed up here, it's going to get really messed up when you're trying to do the mastering and the mixing. It's better if it comes out crispy here first. Then when it gets into your system, it comes out very pure and very clean, and then they will be able to work with it and enhance what you've already done from here. But if it's already messed up here, if your audio is already clipped out and everything is not sounding right, if it's exported, it will give them a lot of headache trying to balance it and trying to make it, get something good out of it. So always be conscious of the fact that whatever is coming out from here first has to be good, has to be properly, sorted in terms of panning, in terms of the volume level and all that. That is when you're going to have a good output at the end. So that's it about your pad mixer. Let's quickly run some 1-2 beats so that at least you can get a feel. I think I've been accused of just trying to show you how it works without showing you some demo. So I hope you have the time for this. Let's do it. So let's go to main. I'm already on MPC trap key 6. I'm going to still leave the BPM as 120. It's just something quick and fast we're going to do. Where's my metronome? Let's enable it. Then we go. Play start. Okay, let me see. Yep. Okay, what else? Okay. Let's go. What else do we have? Let me latch my note repeat. I like this. Let's go. What else do we have? I think we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, so check out what you're hearing right now. Stop. So yeah, something simple. If we check out the layout here, you see, I basically just use them. I think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, components here for this production. Now let's go to that program edit and to the pad mixer. Then you see, let's come back to the level. The ones used, if I let me play from here. As I'm playing, you can see that the ones I used, their volume indicator, that's the level indicator, is kicking in. So let's say from here, I want my kick, which is the very first pad, to be louder. I have it selected here. All I have to do is push it up. Now it's louder. This is the snare that's accompanied with a clap. Now, I think I like the level. The level is good. Now, this rattle here, I need it to go down a little bit. Exactly. Then I need it to be more on one side of the ear than the other. So I come to pan and I can adjust it a bit to the right. Yeah, it's more on the right now than on the left. And I can come back to the level. This close hat, I need it to be on the left. I also need to go down a little bit in volume. So then I go to pan. That's on the left. So if you're listening already, if you're using your headphone here and you're listening to what we're doing right now, you will notice that some are to the left, some are to the right. If you closely listen to what we've done just now, you notice that some actually came out more on the left while some are to the right of your speaker. If you're using if you have a surround speaker or you're using your headphone, you will actually be able to enjoy what you're listening to. Like, I love to listen to music even if I'm working on my laptop. I like to use my headphone because it allows me to feel the beauty of that production. What is coming to my left here and what is coming to my right, it makes a whole lot of difference than when I'm listening to it from just one speaker that may not be able to decipher or give it to you in stereo format. So yeah, as a producer, you need to be able to try and as much as possible to surround yourself with the kind of audio that will allow you the possibility of hearing things from your left and your right. So that'll be all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this. Remember, if you have any question or any feedback, you can drop it in the comment section. We always take our time to respond as much as we can. And thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one.